Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Tonight, we preview UFC Vegas 22, Brunson versus Holland. UFC 261 going to a sold-out arena next month. And I'll quiz Freddie and AJ on the Askren versus Paul rap performers and who's going to be playing on the big Triller show. Let's start this one. Let's go right now. I said, let's go right now. Let's go right now.
Homie?
What's up?
What's
guys?
up, homie? Happy St. Patrick's, man.
All right. Thank you.
What? That's it?
Yeah.
St. Patrick's, man. St. Patrick's Day.
Was there supposed to be more? Was there
one of the best days in Montreal. Yeah, man. Like, happy St. Patrick's to all our fans, all of Ireland, Wally, everybody, man.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone in Ireland.
Celebrations for Quebecers.
For Quebecers?
Well, actually, it's probably one of the longest St. Patrick's parade in the world. But you can fact check that if you want.
I don't know.
Just saying.
Are you Irish?
Just letting you know. Buddy, man, I went to the most Irish school in Montreal.
So no?
I was once, I was going to wear my, here we go. This is for Wally.
No. I don't.
Tonight, but
okay. I don't want to go into a big story about your Irish history or whatever. I don't want to get into it already. I know AJ's just going to get us. I don't want to get into the AJ vortex already. We do have MMA to talk about, and Freddie doesn't want to do a 3-hour show tonight. Okay, so we're going to get in and get out.
Freddie
okay,
go, man.
Freddie's got things to do.
Still, man. He can't go nowhere.
Curfew's later
What's
though,
Freddie
right?
gonna do?
Look, Freddie's got stuff to do.
9:30, man. Congratulations. We're getting closer and closer to getting back into the studio, man. That's the day I can't wait. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Fred is like not willing to make the trip, and I'm not willing to allow you into my home. So you know.
What? With all the technical issues, man, you want it back. You know what?
Yeah, well, you know, COVID has been weird. You know, there's all sorts of things in place. We're not allowed to leave our homes after 9:30 at night currently where we live. But the UFC is going to be doing a pay-per-view in front of fans, a full sold-out arena next month. Were you guys surprised at this news? April 24th, UFC 261, Jacksonville, Florida. If you want to do it, you do it in Florida. And they've got a pretty good card. They've got Usman versus Masvidal 2 for the welterweight title, the women's flyweight title, Shevchenko versus Andrade, and Zhang Wei Li defending her strawweight title against the former champion Rose Namajunas. So they've got a pretty sick card in front of a full arena, not like half arena. And this is what Dana's been saying from the start, right? Dana's like, we're not going to do half arena or any of this kind of third of an arena with distancing stuff. We don't like that stuff. We're going to do full arena or nothing. And Texas opened up the state. The governor of Texas was like, we're open. You don't have to wear masks. You can do whatever you want. No restrictions anymore for COVID. And then Dana was like, cool, we're going to Texas. And then he's like, Dallas, can we go there? And Dallas is like, no. The mayor of Dallas was like, no. Houston, can we go there? And they're like, no Houston. So Dana's like, I guess Texas out of the question. And now, of course, Florida steps in, and Florida's like, come on in. And the UFC says, okay, we're coming. Are you guys surprised, Fred? Are you surprised that the UFC is going to be doing a 15,000 packed arena next month? Doesn't that seem a little soon you?
I mean, you know, we're close to the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We should finish that 2 weeks pretty soon. So was I surprised? Yes, because, I mean, everything is still closed. Am I happy? Yes, because finally some things are happening. But look, man, we got to move on with our lives at some point, man. There has to be a first show, so why not that one? Florida's been open for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not doomsday in Florida. It's not like they're all dying because they've been open for a while. So why not? Why not, man? At some point, we gotta move on. We gotta do some stuff, man. So props to them, man. Honestly, I'm tired of this curfew stupidness here and all that, man. If I had the possibility, I would move to Florida right now. Long live Bravo, Florida.
Well, now
I'm
sure AJ is going to echo those sentiments, and let me just give you the other perspective here for a second. The WWE has WrestleMania coming up, and they're going to be opening up their shows to fans for the first time April 10th and 11th. They're going to do a 2-night WrestleMania on a Saturday and a Sunday night. They are going to open up their shows to fans. There was talk that they would have 45,000 fans. Now, the stadium that they're in is a football stadium, so the capacity is, I'd say, in the 60 to 75,000 range. I'm not exactly sure what the capacity for Raymond James Stadium is for wrestling, but it's, let's say 70,000. So they were thinking about doing half. They've now gone back on that and decided they're going to do 25,000, which is, Fred, you could do the math. It's less than half, right? I don't know. But 25,000 and say
more than that 15. It's 10,000 more than that 15,000 you're talking about for the UFC. I mean, yeah, okay,
but
you got some.
It's in a much bigger space.
Come on, man.
It's an outdoor space. Okay, this is an arena that the UFC is going to. WWE is going to do it in an outdoor space. They're going to be doing plexiglass seating boxes for the fans, and this is a 25,000 person entry, 25,000 person max for attendance in a 70,000 capacity arena. UFC is talking about 15,000 in a 15,000 capacity. If they could fit 15,005 people in there, they're going to fit all 15,005. WWE's not looking for a sellout, and that's what I'm saying. WWE's doing something different, albeit on April 10th and 11th, still in Florida, in Tampa. UFC going April 24th in Jacksonville, packing an arena. It's a different situation, packing a closed arena.
It is different, but it's 1 out of 3 seats. I mean that's less than a meter between each person. Let's be honest. Like, all these stadiums are pretty compact. Like 1 out of 2 empty seats and you got somebody. I mean, that's less than a meter, man. I don't know, man.
But they're doing seating bubbles. They're doing seating bubbles and stuff like that. Like, you go with your family, you're sitting in like a little plexiglass deal. UFC's not doing that. They're putting strangers next to strangers in a packed arena. And
good for them.
I mean, them. Would you go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
tickets, yeah.
Hypothetical.
Yeah,
I think you guys are selling wolf tickets. I don't think you guys would go.
Whatever.
I wouldn't go.
Whatever, man.
I wouldn't go.
I've been scared of this virus since the beginning. Why would I be scared right now, man? Come on, don't say that, man. I haven't been scared from the very beginning, so don't be acting like I would be scared all of a sudden, man.
Nah, I believe you. AJ, I don't believe, but Fred, I always believe.
Listen, Freddie.
Yeah, AJ's
Dr.
Fauci. So,
yeah.
Listen, Dr. Fauci says it's going to be open seat. Dr. Fauci, mask on, mask off. This guy here said it was going to be open season by April. So this guy, if he's saying it's going to be open season by April, then it's going to work out, man. Everything is going to come back, like Freddie said. Eventually, we're at the end of this pandemic per se, even though there's all these new virus strains or whatever bullshit. But the thing is that it's coming to the end where most people are getting vaccinated and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Dana White is going to pull it off, just like he's done since last year, March. Dana White delivered what he said, man, and he's going to do it, man. And you're looking at like Texas. Texas, first of all, yeah, everything can reopen, only if it's the Dallas Cowboys, but that's about it. So it doesn't make sense. They lost a pretty good opportunity to bring like money into Texas.
There's the UFC is going to no doubt stay in Jacksonville. If Jacksonville's the only place they can be, they're going to stay in Jacksonville. I'm a little bit surprised that they're packing an arena. I'm a little bit surprised. Johnny North on the chat, my main man Johnny North says, Uncle Dave said Dana White more evil than Vince McMahon. He's talking about Dave Meltzer. And yeah, I think Dana is more evil than Vince somehow, which is pretty hard to beat. But I think Dana, certain things he does, he's just more mean-spirited sometimes. Shout out to the chat. Brooklyn Lizard, I see you. Franco316, Lauren Cronish. Appreciate you guys watching.
I mean, I've seen some pictures of the Montreal Metro where it's fucking jam-packed. Why would you be like any scarier than having the same 2 people on each of your side for 3 hours than being in the Montreal Metro? Like, why would that be any scarier?
I haven't been in the Metro. I haven't taken the Metro. Point. I don't go near people.
Good point.
I'm saying for me. I stay away from people. I stayed away from people before the pandemic. I was like, and then they came up with a word for it, social distancing. I'm like, I've been doing this my whole life. Fantastic. I love this thing, So now I'm like, it's even better. Now that I can social distance, like with an excuse, I'm going to ask everybody that invites me anywhere after this thing, oh, you've been vaccinated? Yeah, I've been vaccinated. Oh, okay. How about everybody else at this place? Have they been vaccinated? Is there a chance that I might get sick? Does anybody have a runny nose? Are you doing temperature checks at this party? Like, from now on to the rest of my life, if you're not doing temperature checks at your party, I'm not going, baby. I'm just using it as an excuse. It's not that I'm scared. It's just that I don't want to go. I'm lazy and I don't like social interactions.
Look, if you look at the UFC since March, doing all these fights, if you look at how many fighters actually got COVID, and in fact now Paulo Costa is out of the next fight because he has COVID and lingering COVID apparently. Anyways, he's out. So is it real? Yeah, it's real. There's no doubt about it. People have been getting sick.
AJ.
Listen, but people have
been getting sick. You don't believe it's lingering effects from COVID, Fred?
No, I'm just laughing because AJ has to go with some fear porn. We weren't talking at all about Paulo Costa, and let me throw that in. And he had COVID. And by the way, he kept on training just like Hamzat, and he got sicker. But hey, be scared, fear porn. COVID, fear porn.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
I like the different opinions on this show. I love the different opinions on the show. I'm like, I don't know if it's safe. Fred's like, yeah, go ahead, open it up right now. I would go pack all the arenas, open everything. And AJ's like, you're like very afraid, I guess, but you also want everything open. I'm not sure where AJ stands.
Absolutely.
Fred has a clear stance. I have a clear stance. AJ's like just confusing to me right now. What's going on?
I'm on both sides, man. I want to be at that fight. I want to get both sides. I want to be there. Listen,
put that on his tombstone. I'm on both sides.
I played both sides, man.
That's right.
But listen to this. Dana White, it's a great idea. People are still with whatever. What he's going to do is give out 15,000 masks that see logo. Advertising again for Dana. Dana always wins, man. Think about it. Dana always wins. Can you hear me, guys?
I can, but you kind of chopped out there. Was he chopping out for you too, Fred?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, AJ, your internet sucks. And also, can you please just move your microphone to your face without disconnecting your whole thing?
You mofo. It's right soon enough. Touch consoles.
I don't know what you said there. You chopped out again. Good job. Shout out to Guy Rez. My man Guy Rez was on the chat watching us on Twitch. Shout out to everybody watching us on Twitch. Love you, Guy Rez. That's my man Paul, who's done work for both of you guys. You guys both know Paul.
Is it Paul Mead?
Yeah, Paul
Mead was at my house this week, man. He came again. Paul is like the best. Listen, he came again. He fixed my plumbing. The guy is awesome.
If you know what I mean.
If you want really good, he's amazing. If you want to have really good construction work, anything to do with renovation, plumbing, you can't get in touch with him because Paul's not going to give you his number. So you got to go through Dave. But he is fantastic. I'm telling you, or you can come through me. I'll give Paul's number. It's amazing, man. He fixed my fridge. He fixed my sink. Paul Mead, number one.
Paul says, Dana wouldn't mind an outbreak. Front page headlines. It's good.
Yeah, he's right.
Headstrom Baker says, AJ is a fence sitter. Looks at both sides. Nothing wrong with that. Good stuff.
And then whoever wins, I go with that side.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're like, oh.
He always says, I told you so.
Yeah, he picks both guys in the fight, and then he tells you, oh, I told you he was going to win. Fantastic.
Yeah, like that bullshit DQs of last week. Yeah, you're right. Totally. I lost my play again. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into the parlay from last week. Fred was a big winner. Fred is your champion. A 2-0 parlay from Freddie. He came through. What was the picks from Freddie? It was
Dan Ige. Ryan Spahn.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Is it Ige or Ige? I thought it was Ige.
Ige. I thought it was Ige.
I don't know.
I think it's Ige.
Danige.
I think it's Ige.
Danige. Danny Gay, Danige, whatever his name is, IGE, that guy. He won. Fred had him in his parlay. And, Fred's picks were good last week. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find the graphic, but I don't think AJ posted it on Instagram.
Yes, it is on Instagram, of course. He has the crown and everything. Let's see it.
There's Freddie's picks from last week. He had Ige and Span. $10 wins you $34. No. So there you go.
Not that one, Dave. The one that he's wearing the crown, that he's a winner on Instagram. That's the good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that one.
What? I put
don't
a
believe
picture
in
of Freddie with a
royalty.
crown.
I didn't see that.
Dude. Well, Prince Andrew does, but he ain't coming back to the States.
Oh.
But
What a weird name drop. So Freddie Good, Freddie Good with
I
his
just realized which
picks.
one is Andrew.
Yeah, exactly.
I went like, yeah, why?
What is happening, AJ? So those were my picks from last week. I had Span, Angela Hill, but then Glorina. Terrible fight from Glorina. Very disappointing. She got taken down in the third round. Didn't work to get back to her feet. Just worked to get some jiu-jitsu off her back. It didn't work for her, and she lost the fight. So there went my parlay. Still got 2 out of the 3 winners for you. And we all picked Ryan Spann, who is a plus 109 underdog. We all picked him to win in the co-main event. And boy, did he ever, with a huge knockout of Misha Cherkunov in 71 seconds. Didn't take long for that. That was a pretty
seems
sweet
shorter
fight.
than that.
The Ige fight was pretty
amazing.
sweet. I know AJ was all over Gavin Tucker last week, the Canadian. He'd seen him grapple. I guess he hadn't seen him box because he got knocked out in 22 seconds. Freddie and I both took Ige. Freddie put him on his parlay. And you could bet with us over at bet99.com. Use that promo code Ringside when you sign up. You get a matching bonus of up to $600 on your initial deposit over at bet99.com using that promo code Ringside. And we will give you some more picks and some more winners a little bit later on here when we preview the fights for Saturday night. Other than that,
50,000 bonus, man. He got a 50,000 bonus for that knockout, and it was
nice.
When you look at it, one was 71 seconds, one was 22 seconds. Can anything get shorter than that? Matthew Semmelsberger got it in 16 seconds, so it was a night of quick knockouts. I mean, the card was awesome, and then it got weird. And that's the problem. Like, it was like a fantastic preliminary card. You know, Jourdain, our homeboy from Montreal, fought a fantastic fight. It was like everything you'd want to see in a fight, which I thought they should have got the 50,000 bonus, in my opinion. Jourdain comes with a huge win. And then it later on through the main card, it just got weird, man. And obviously you're going to get into it, Dave. DQ all night, man, and it wasn't ice cream.
yeah, the Charles Jourdain fight, really nice. Nice win for Charles, getting the TKO there with just 29 seconds left to go in the fight. He finished Marcelo Araujo. So shout out to Charles Jourdain, the man, Charles Air Jourdain. Sweet stuff. There was a couple no contest. Eric Anders and Darren Stewart. Stewart hits Anders with an illegal knee that was pretty bad. Right? That was Stewart that hit Anders with the knee?
No, it was Anders that
No, it was
hit
the other way
Stewart.
around, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. So what happened? So basically, yeah, Darren Stewart, the dentist. So what he did is he came out in the first round and he was looking good. And then Anders started to really put a lot of pressure on him in the next round. And it was like Anders was winning the fight. And then all of a sudden, for some crazy reason, from the week before, we saw like a disqualification with the same thing with Peter Yan and that crazy knee. Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. Like, what happens, like, sometimes in the fights, like, your corner screams out things, you get nervous or whatever. But how can it happen 2 weeks in a row where it's a DQ by illegal knee? And Anders knew it right away. As soon as he threw that knee, man, he was like, oh, fuck, here he goes. And it's too bad because I think Anders was winning that fight up to that point. He was definitely winning, no doubt about it. But here we go again, man.
Yeah, a lot of these illegal knees.
No contest.
Yeah, it wasn't a disqualification. It was a no contest. It was not like what we saw, a couple weeks ago with that Peter Yan Aljamain Sterling fight. This one ends in a no contest because Stewart couldn't continue. And then later on, another one, an accidental eye poke in the main event. Leon Edwards accidentally poking Belal Muhammad. And that was pretty scary stuff. Belal Muhammad screaming out in pain, crying. I mean, you could tell there was a lot of emotions going on there. There was the fear of losing an eye. There was the devastation of the fight having to end that way. There was the pain of the eye poke itself. There was the fear that he was going to lose his vision for real. Like, it was a scary moment for him. You could tell he was afraid, and it was scary watching. It's scary to see a guy, who earlier in the fight ate a nasty head kick from Leon Edwards and just kept on coming forward. But then he gets poked in the eye and he's crying and he's like, he can't fight anymore. It just shows you, an eye poke is very, very dangerous and can do a lot of damage. That's also really something makes you uncomfortable about seeing a tough guy like Belal Muhammad cry like that to end a main event. It's like, it's uneasy. You know what I mean? Like to see a guy just cry out in pain, a guy that's so tough. Yeah, go ahead.
It's the type of injury that could change your career. So I understand why, like, it's scary if you don't know what's happening right now. You know, you just got poked in the eye, you're hurting. Look at Michael Bisping. Look at Pat Cote. He had some issues with his eyes. There's a lot of guys over the years. You know, Alan Belcher, I think, also retired because of that. It's a scary injury. So I'm not. Look, I'm happy. I think he's going to be all right from what I've read. I'm happy for that. I'm not going to judge his reaction. I would be scared also in that situation.
Yeah, but look, there's a couple of things out of that fight that I didn't like. You know, and one of them was that eye poke, and it wasn't the eye poke that was, like you said, that was horrible. If you looked at the replay, you could actually see the finger inside the guy's eye. The thing with that is that you're right. When you see a fighter on the ground crying and screaming, "I can't see," we were watching. Oh, this guy is like, he lost his eye, and you know everybody thought he lost his eye, including like Belal. The problem here is this: that it wasn't the first time that Edwards did it. It was the second time. He was already warned by Herb Dean with the first eye poke. And that's the problem with this whole thing with fighting and like the whole controversy with the gloves. And I don't know if you're going to go into that, but we should go into it.
Well, hold on. I don't want to talk about the gloves. The gloves is one thing,
let me just say,
I want to talk about the eye poke and the warning.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get back to that. So with the warning, he got warned. And that's what gets me mad because the week before, we saw Peter Yan, and it was done. He lost the belt.
Yes, I'll explain to you the difference.
About it.
We're getting questions about that, and I'll explain the difference to you, AJ, and to everybody else, okay? Why this was a no contest and why the Peter Yan thing was a disqualification. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
It should have been a disqualification.
Because I actually do the research and read these things and pay attention, AJ, so I can tell you, okay?
No. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll say it, and then if you still want to argue, that's okay. But anyways. So what happened here with the eye poke? You could say Leon Edwards, he should have been disqualified because he was warned, right? He did the eye poke to Belal Muhammad. There was the initial eye poke, and he was warned about it. And then there was the fight-ending eye poke, and then the fight was ruled a no contest when Muhammad couldn't continue. Now, the ref didn't think that it was intentional, and that's really, it's based on intent. If he thinks it's intentional and you know what you're doing, then they can award the disqualification and the victory to the injured opponent there. But if the ref thinks that it's unintentional, it's usually ruled a no contest. And that's why no contests are far more frequent than disqualifications, is because usually when there is a foul that ends the fight, it is unintentional. Most of the time, guys that do an illegal knee or an eye poke or a kick to the groin or whatever the hell it is that ends a fight in a way that's not, normal, they're doing so by accident, and the referee recognizes that. Everybody recognizes that. The fighter, all the fighters know what's going on, and it's ruled a no contest, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, the disqualification is when the referee and other people, it's really up to the referee, but, you can kind of tell in the cage what's going on. It's about intent. And with Petr Yan, he was told when Aljamain was down by the referee, he is a downed opponent. He is a downed opponent. And his corner could be heard saying, knee him, just knee him, do it. And he did it. And the fight was ended because Aljamain Sterling couldn't continue. So in that case, there was the intent of, he was told that Aljamain was down. The corner was telling him to do it for some reason. He did it. Aljamain couldn't continue. So that's why it was ruled a disqualification. There's a difference between a no contest and a DQ, and it's all about the intent. Petr Yan knew what he was doing. He may have had a moment of stupidity or a flash of anger or whatever.
Edwards doesn't have control of his fingers?
It was an accident.
Exactly.
He wasn't told
Dave.
by his corner, poke him in the eye.
I understand your explanation.
His corner didn't tell him poke him in the eye. There's no intent.
I agree. I understand your explanation, But I think with all the, like, whether it was John Jones back in the days or whatever, guys need to learn to keep those fingers closed, man. Don't be pointing fingers at people's eyes.
Yeah, John Jones has never lost by disqualification because of a finger poke. And in fact, John Jones, the reason why he lost by disqualification back then, the one loss on his record, is because of the 12-6 elbows. And the reason why that's in such dispute is because John Jones didn't have the intent. He didn't intend to do illegal elbows. He was just smashing Matt Hamill. And the referee was like, yeah, but the intent wasn't there. Right. It was an accidental thing, and it should have been a no contest. That should have been a no contest.
I'm more talking about at some point he had a reputation of poking people in the eyes because with his long limbs, he would push away people and all. And I think you're responsible. Like, you should be responsible for your fingers in the end.
Exactly. And you know what, Dave? And you know what's a simple rule that every fighter knows? You have two ways to do it. You either close fist or stop sign. That's legal. But every time you shoot out your fingers to block or try to smack, I mean, you've been warned once, and then it comes to the point where this is probably one of the worst eye pokes ever. But eye pokes happen on every card. There's an eye poke, and you know what? Maybe there's a problem with the training, and
I think it's the gloves. Because I think what you said about the gloves was right. The gloves is right. If you've ever put on a pair of the UFC gloves, I know, I've got a pair here, right? You talked about the stop sign. In those gloves, it's hard to get a full hand out. You could kind of get your fingers kind of go like this. It's hard to like fully stretch out your hand into the full stop, right? And your fingers kind of bend because of the way that the gloves are designed. So I think a different glove design would definitely help a lot of the eye pokes in the UFC. I think it's something they've talked about for a long time, and for some reason they haven't ever done.
They have actually done. In fact, Trevor Whitman designed a pair of
I know, but the UFC hasn't done
Onyx.
Anything.
But listen, Pride has different gloves that this rarely happen. Pride, Pride, and then you have Bellator with gloves that they have. The UFC has the MMA gloves, and you're right. I mean, the stop sign is the rule that everybody should know. But the eye pull, like Freddie was saying, is he did it the first time, and he's doing it again, shooting out those fingers. And John Jones was famous for doing that kind of stuff. But you know what? We are lucky, and Edwards is lucky as well that he got like a no contest as well. But the thing is that Belal is very lucky that he didn't lose his eye, and the UFC is very lucky that didn't happen either. Because this is the problem, man. It's either a new design of gloves have to come out, or someone will lose their eye, and that's the end of it. I mean, we're talking about people with one eye. Bisping always fought with one eye, which
that was in training that it happened. It wasn't necessarily because of the gloves.
Listen,
it was a training accident.
I know.
But I agree with you. I think that they should change the gloves. Like, you're arguing the point. I agree with you 100%, AJ. I think that they should change the gloves. I think that there are other gloves out there that the UFC could be implementing, and for some reason they're not. I feel like other MMA promotions have better gloves out there, and the UFC has some of the worst gloves out there for MMA fighting, and for some reason they keep using them. I'm not sure why.
If you repeatedly hit somebody to the groin, you're going to get disqualified. Why not for an eye poke then? Like,
you should have a point deduction. You should have got a point deduction.
Yeah, no. I mean,
point deduction,
it's very rare that the eye poke is the thing that'll get you disqualified. Usually, if you see a disqualification, it'll be like repeated shots to the groin or a knee to a downed opponent. The eye poke is not something that usually gets you.
Yeah.
But you could do an intentional, shot to the groin and just get a warning and take some time. I heard Derek Lewis on Joe Rogan's podcast admit that he did that in one of his fights. He came out, he had too much energy, he was like too amped up, he needed to calm down, so he started the fight and he's like, oh, if I get too excited, I'm just gonna punch this guy in the balls. And then he got too excited, so he punched the guy in the balls, and he took like the time to relax and like get himself centered. Then he wound up winning the fight. So it's not something that UFC fighters haven't done before on purpose, knowing that they'll just get a warning.
But Dave,
it's tough. It's tough, right? Because it's up to interpretation.
But the thing is that it doesn't only start with the gloves. It also, like we were saying, it starts with the training camps, because a lot of these fighters that are fighting MMA, when they're doing their training camps, you'll see them, like, and I've seen many of them, they'll be wearing boxing gloves and they'll be wearing like sort of like these karate taekwondo gloves, when they're really hard sparring and that kind of stuff, and when they're grappling, they're just grappling. There's not too many like full-fledged training camps where they're wearing MMA gloves and at each other, boxing where that happens. And that's the problem. So a lot of people are trained, and the motor skills, even though they know the rule, fist, stop sign, a lot of times, with boxing gloves, when someone's throwing like whatever, a straight or whatever, you kind of par that. You just pop that away. So you have like this cat opening, and it translates into the MMA part where you do the same thing. And a lot of times it's not stop sign, and it's more of forward,
it's a pawing thing. I get
finger
it.
pawing, and that's it. So but that's the problem. There's so many factors of problems, and this can be easily solved if they listen to Trevor Whitman and his design with the Onyx, and that will solve the problems in the UFC.
Yeah.
And a lot of fighters have said the same thing.
And when it comes to the no contest versus disqualification thing, usually when it's a foul so bad that ends a fight, it's called a no contest. DQ is very rare, right? It's very rare, and that's because no one wants to really win that way. No one wants to lose that way. And a referee doesn't want to end a fight that way. No referee wants to give a guy a win because he was intentionally fouled. The only time it usually happens is when it's so obvious. Are you talking about Aljamain Sterling?
Aljamain Sterling, I meant to say. Sorry about that. Yeah, Aljamain. Mm-hmm. So other than that, listen,
Right? So, yeah, it happens because Petr Yan, your boy Petr Yan, it was just such an obvious, egregious foul that the referee is just like, come on, dude. That's a disqualification. Like, most of the time when people do these things that end fights and the other guy's hurt, but it's not, a legal blow or whatever, it's a fight-ending foul, the referee will call it a no contest. But in the Petr Yan case, it was just so like, come on, man. He was down. It was obvious he was down. The ref told you he was down, and you still need him in the head. It was just too much. It's too much. In certain cases, when it's just too much, that's when you call it a disqualification. But for the most part, a no contest is all right. And that's what we saw a couple of times last weekend. And makes sense. That makes sense, AJ.
Dave,
and you're just still mad. You're just still mad because I told you that Aljamain was going to win, and you told me Petr Yan was going to win, and Petr Yan might have won, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And, Aljamain's a champion, so it is what it is.
But listen,
you're still mad about it.
Just going back to I am fucking mad about that. That's ridiculous. Anyways, Petr Yan is going to come and destroy that guy when they fight again. And what it comes down to is this. I think if they take a point deduction from an eye poke, screw the warning. It's going to reduce it because people will think twice, oh, man, I throw out that hand out too much, I might lose a point. That'll change the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's not enough like just let it go and then a second warning and a third warning. We've seen that happen many times, eye pokes in fights. I can't recall the fight. I remember there was one fight where it was nothing but eye pokes. I think if you lose a point, then people will be a little bit more cautious when they're fighting with eye pokes. Shit is still going to happen, but it'll be twice, like the John Jones types and whatever, that use it as kind of like a blinding move, Not to actually poke him out, but kind of to make him flinch so that he can do whatever his next attack will be. So that's what I'm saying. Get that point deduction. No more warnings. You eye poke, that's it. Point deduction. No warning, man.
Let's get to this card coming up on Saturday night. Let's get to this card. Let's preview this thing. Let's give you some winners.
What is it? Is it good?
Yeah. I'm glad you came to the show prepared tonight, AJ. It's
I am, man.
Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson. I'm excited about Kevin Holland and Derek Brunson. I want to see Kevin Holland fight again. That last time he was in there against Jacare when he knocked him out off his back, he had Jacare on top. Jacare's on top of him in his guard, and he starts hammering punches and throwing punches and knocks out Jacare from his back, from the bottom. I see Patrick C. Hamilton, one of the members of the channel. He had a problem signing up with Bet99. Try again, Patrick. Go to bet99.com. I don't know. Apparently, he says he tried to sign up with them, but he couldn't figure out how to get the money. Well, maybe they had technical issues last week. Try again, Patrick. Try again. It should work out.
I think.
Go to bet99.com. Use that promo code ringside when you sign up. What just happened?
Mead explained it well. I don't know what happened to Freddie. Did he just pop up in front there?
Freddie, you still there?
He looks like the Joker, man. What happened, man?
Is Fred gone?
Like something on a Viagra when it goes. That's a Viagra commercial right there. When things go really bad, but you leave with a smile.
Oh,
there you go, Freddie.
He just lost power.
Red Bull, man, gives you wings.
Fred just lost electricity. He just sent me a message. He lost power. Oh, what? No.
So it's
we lost
COVID
Fred.
Bullshit. So look, I love that picture. He left with a smile, man. Perfect.
Yeah, I think that was
Remember the guy that was
image.
dating Anna Nicole Smith? It was kind of like that.
It was a stock image.
I thought it really was like that.
No, Fred lost electricity. I hope everything's all right with Fred. He just sent me a text. He said,
it's the South Shore. What do you expect, man? C'est la rive sud.
I don't know. We might get him back on.
The hamsters are not running on the wheel.
We'll see if we can get Fred back on in the darkness. We'll see. So yeah, main event: Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson. Yeah, I'm trying to talk about it, but you keep interrupting me every 3 words, AJ. Yeah, man. Are you still there, AJ? Can you hear me?
I'm there. I can hear you. Perfect.
My God.
That's why. Okay, go ahead. I can hear you.
What?
Yeah, you're good.
I think Fred's back, but I'm not sure. He might be a little frozen. I think he's on like cell phone internet. It might not be good enough. Maybe. Oh, Fred looks pretty choppy.
For sure.
No, I don't think so. For sure. What do you know about anything, AJ? Hey, Fred, what's happening? You lost power?
Look how good he looks.
Uh-oh.
And now you for so.
What? What you say, Fred?
Not in my house, as you could see.
He looks like he's in outer space, the poor guy.
Sure.
Fred.
Oh, I think we're losing
Mars,
Fred.
Let us know.
Fred's,
look at that, man.
It's like
frozen. He's going into deep space.
We lost Fred. It's very dark. It was a dark image, and we lost Fred. What happened to Fred?
Looks good, man.
See, Fred was usually on his like normal internet at home, but now he's on his cell phone internet because his everything's down because he lost power, and he tried to sign back in, but I don't think it worked.
I'm telling you, man, it was funny actually.
Yeah,
going into deep space, Freddy. That's usually AJ and Johnny in the dark. I miss those episodes.
You never know what's going to happen here on the show, right? You never know.
Well, that's what makes it special, dude. Anything can happen.
Hey, Paul. You kind of look like Fred. Paul, you kind of look like Fred. You want to replace him? Jump on the show.
It's not like Paul hasn't done that before. We actually had Paul as a stand-in once, and people thought it was Fred.
Paul, I'm texting you a
link. Do it, man.
Let's get
Paul. You gotta get
Paul
on, man. And we'll talk about his construction job. It was amazing. This guy is so talented. It's ridiculous. So if you got any plumbing problems, don't worry about it. Paul will take care of it. He won't go further than I think the South Shore. So for anybody outside of Montreal, sorry, because Paul is amazing. But
Paul knows MMA. I'm gonna text Paul, my buddy Paul, see if he could step in for Fred. Paul, I just texted you a link. Just click that link, and you'll be on the show.
Right, said Fred.
You'll be on the show.
Right, Fred, man.
No, I'm just gonna put him on Fred's line, and then if Fred's ready to come back, he'll come back. We'll see if we can get Paul on the show to replace Fred while Fred has lost power. And we get a new Fred.
Paul has to put on a baseball cap or like some kind of like hat, and then you won't. I'm telling you, man, these two guys.
Yeah.
They look like,
my God.
Not brothers.
We got a new Fred.
Let's see.
Look.
Fred 2.
New Fred.
Fred 2.0. Fred, what's up, man?
Yeah, we can kind of hear you. You sound terrible, but you know, what's going on?
Hey, Paul, first of all, I want to tell you, thank you for your work, man. It was awesome.
No, it's my pleasure, AJ.
See, Ringside
sounds so good
Ringside
now.
Report. Now it sounds good, bud.
What's up, Paul? Fred?
How you guys?
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good.
Listen, man, Paul, anything can happen on this show. Thank God we're worldwide, and we're in so many different podcasts and so many shows at the same time. We're live. People love our show. But this shit doesn't happen on the Rogan show. You know why? Because Rogan has money. We need more money on this show. No doubt about it.
What do you mean? Rogan doesn't have body doubles to replace people? I mean, look at this.
You got a point there.
We lost Fred.
There.
We replaced him.
And we replaced him like that.
With a similar looking guy. Like, they're not exactly the same, but people have wondered if they were brothers when they were in the same room. Like, people thought, we got to back up Fred. Like, that's pretty good.
I'm going to need a little more chin.
Fly, man.
Yeah. You need more beard.
Yeah, you're usually a little hairy. Yeah, when you're hairy, man, it's like you can't separate the two. They're twins.
We gotta back up Fred.
Man, is this weird? It's like I seen Paul all this week. I made him coffee, all this kind of shit, man. It's like I can't wait for the summer when we're allowed to have a barbecue. It was good, eh? A little hard, but so Paul, you're back, man.
Yeah. How you guys?
We're doing pretty good.
All this in-person hanging out, like it's really not Fred Garcia. All this in-person hanging out you guys are doing making me very jealous. Like, Paul, we used to hang out all the time before there was like a pandemic. You would come over, we'd watch fights, and now not so much. And now you and AJ are hanging out for some reason. That's really strange. It's a strange move. Strange turn of events. What?
And you got to see little AJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cute little kid.
And Paul's into like music that I like, not into that kind of weird shit that you were talking about before. Bieber. He's not into Bieber. I'm not into Bieber. You're into Bieber, Dave. We're not into that stuff.
Oh, this is good actually, Paul. I'm gonna quiz you on if you know who some people are. Okay. I was gonna do this with Fred, but I can do this with you. This is better. All right.
This isn't gonna end.
Paul's on the show. Back up, Fred. All right, Paul. So Ben Askren and Jake Paul. Oh, Zevi wants to say hi to Paul. Look, it's Paul. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Look at this, man. The little boss.
Say hi to Paul.
I don't want
to. All right. I'll see you later. Hi, buddy.
What a crazy show tonight, man.
Yeah, it's been a wild show. I mean, I can't believe we got to back up Fred and everything. It's just. All right, let me give you guys some musical acts, and you guys tell me if you know who they are, okay? So Ben Askren and Jake Paul are going to be doing a boxing match, right? This is actually happening, okay? And let me tell you that I'm starting to believe in Ben Askren in winning this thing because I've heard Jake Paul and some of the people that are associated with Jake Paul recently, and they are delusional as all hell. They really believe, man, some of these people in this Jake Paul world, they don't know anything about fighting. They are playing a game. They're playing with some fire that they're not really ready for. So I'm not really convinced with Jake Paul. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jake Paul's going to beat Ben Askren. We've seen Ben Askren knocked out. Yeah, but have you seen Jake Paul look like a real fighter? I don't know about this. I'm going to go with Ben Askren. I'm saying it now. Ben Askren is going to smash that guy. Ben Askren is a real fighter. Paul, what do you think about that fight? You got Askren or Jake Paul?
I've seen, I guess, highlights of Jake Paul box once or twice. Ben Askren is a real fighter.
Yeah, but
so I'm gonna have
go with Askren. But he's not a great boxer.
And I wouldn't say it's crazy. I wouldn't say this is crazy because from what I've seen of Paul, I forget his first name now, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not crazy. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul are gonna box April 17th. I think it's in Miami or something. Frank Mir is going to be boxing Antonio Tarver on this card. Like Antonio Tarver. Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think of that, Paul? You like that? Oh, he's hyped for that. That's more exciting than the Ben Askren Jake Paul for some reason.
He really is. I mean, Tarver.
What the hell happened? Viagra's back?
Oh, did we lose Paul now?
What the hell's going on, man? Look at Freddie. The smile on Freddie's face is incredible. I think that's how he got his. I
think that's what happens Freddie, when there's like
when he got little Freddie.
Technical difficulties. Paul was really getting into it. He was really excited about that fight, and then he just dropped it. What's happening tonight? What? Oh, now AJ's sound. There you go. Sorry, AJ, your sound was cut there. What happened?
Am I okay? Can you hear me at least?
Mako wants to know who's Paul. Paul is my
the
friend.
best renovation guy in like Montreal.
Paul is my good friend, and Paul has been with me and the show. And, you know, Paul's been on some of the watch-alongs in the past. Paul is a good friend of mine. Paul actually was watching MMA before I was watching MMA, and he was our backup Fred for a little bit because we needed another guy who kind of looked like that. But now I think what happened is Paul's been kicked off because we have the real Fred. The real Fred is back.
What the hell's going on? And I feel bad for Paul now. Would it like
Sorry,
Paul? Listen,
Paul.
I don't know what happened, but it sounded very interesting.
What,
by the
man?
way,
You guys
I need
replaced
something
me in
else.
less than I missed like less than 5 minutes, and you're replacing me, man. That's insulting.
Freddie 2.0, man. And he
Fred-
came in and he looked like you.
Yeah,
He
it's
wasn't wearing
crazy.
glasses, but if he was wearing glasses, it would have been classic.
He wasn't? I
Listen,
thought he
man.
was.
Was he? I can't really tell because I don't have my glasses on and my camera's far. I can't.
Yeah,
see
he was
shit.
wearing glasses.
Was he? Okay, so
Yeah.
it's Freddie 2.0, man.
You know, Fred, people, you know,
So what?
people.
Did you also give him my link? Because like I was trying to log in and it wasn't working. I had to refresh a bunch of times.
I
Exactly.
did
That's
give
what
him.
Dave did.
I did give him your link, but as soon as you logged in, it should have just kicked him off right away. And there's Paul Guy Rez there on the chat. He says, "Fun while it lasted." Well, thank you, Paul, for getting on. But I think what happened was Fred kicked you off when he came back and his power came back. But yeah, Fred, you know, a lot of people have mistaken Paul for Fred on watch-alongs. Paul's been on watch-alongs. As I said, he's one of my buddies. We play poker with Paul. He's an MMA fan.
Exactly.
And Paul beats us at poker pretty much is what happens.
I was gonna say that Paul always. We know Paul very well. He
Poker
drains our
shark Paul.
pockets, man.
Yeah, exactly. So he's really
Big
good,
time.
and he's our buddy. And so he's been on the watch-alongs, and people are like, "Is that Fred?" Because I think there was a watch-along one time when Fred, you weren't here, but Paul was for some reason,
yeah.
right?
Well,
And it was like me,
it's in front of a
AJ.
commercial.
It was like me, AJ, my brother, and Paul on a watch-along, and Fred, you weren't there. And people were like, "Is that Fred, or is that Fred's brother?" Like people were confused, and they thought you were Paul, or Paul was you, or whatever. So then, when
That
Paul
was
was
with your
watching the show, and you disappeared, I thought, now's the time. Now's the time.
Wasn't your
We have
friend,
body doubles.
Wasn't your friend?
Listen, we
your
have
friend
one
that
for
was
AJ.
bad?
You know we have one for AJ. We have one for me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
If my power drops, I disappear. My brother comes in, and it's like nothing happened. It's really crazy.
Listen, when Paul was on studio when we were doing that watch along, it was also your friend that got banned. Remember, it was that whole episode. There's a commercial on
Rosy
air
face.
with all that.
We don't have a
Rosy
body
face,
double
man.
for him. He's banned forever. We don't want a
Rosy.
body double for him. He is a school teacher, and he should not have been in that state on YouTube. Really should not.
Dude,
and Paul
listen.
dropping, I can't compete with Fred, my brother. So you guys are brothers, but Paul admitting that you are, Fred, you are the best brother. Are the Paul
Thanks,
and
man.
Fred
I just
Garcia.
froze, so I'm not sure what you said. I just came back
Oh.
in time for "You Are the Best, brother," but I'll take that.
Paul
That's all you
said,
need to know.
Paul said, I
Dave,
can't compete
that's
with
it.
Fred, my brother. So you're the best Garcia brother, Paul and Fred Garcia.
I've always been the favorite of our parents.
That's right. Tommy and Mindy Garcia. Shout out to Tommy and Mindy. So I was going to ask Paul, but I guess I'm going to ask you now, Fred, because you've replaced Paul. Paul replaced you. Now you're replacing Paul. It's like a back and forth scenario. Okay. So do you know any of the following musical artists? Obviously, you know who Justin Bieber is, right? Everybody knows Justin Bieber. He's going to be performing at the Ben Askren Jake Paul boxing match on April 17th. If you remember the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight, it also had Jake Paul versus that basketball guy, and he knocked out the basketball guy. And this is the same promotion, Triller. So they're going to be doing a lot of musical performances, and they just announced who's going to be performing, and it is a lot of stars, right? It's a big concert that they're doing. So they got Justin Bieber. Everybody knows Biebs, right? They've got
BB.
the Black Keys. Do you guys know who that is?
I know the
course.
Black Eyed Peas. Are they like same group?
They're not
Come
the
on,
Black Eyed
man, you
Peas.
know-
They're the Black Keys. It's like
Black
two
Keys,
guys,
they're
right?
good.
It's two guys
They're
that
good,
do those
man.
songs. They're all right.
They're very good.
Fred likes them.
They're very
AJ doesn't
good.
know who
But
they
I
are.
didn't-
Oh,
Black Eyed-
you see, I had
Black Eyed
tickets
Peas
for the
are
Black
amazing.
Keys. I had tickets for the Black Keys just before this fucking COVID thing, and the show ended up getting canceled. I was supposed to go see them. I like the Black Keys, man. They got good songs.
AJ, maybe you want to look them up. All right.
Come on, I know who they are, AJ.
I know who they are.
Fucking lost.
It's not my style, but I know who they are. They're all right. They're not terrible.
Like if you told me that they were a band, I'd be like Keys, Black Keys. I mean,
yeah, it's like two guys.
Keys,
You've definitely heard their songs.
You know who they are.
You definitely have heard their music before. Okay. Let's talk about
some sounds.
Do you know?
I don't know,
I can't. I can't because that'll get us a copyright strike on YouTube. Do you know who Doja Cat is? Fred, you don't know who Doja Cat. You don't know Doja? No, she's a singer, rapper, singer, Doja Cat.
It's a she.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure. To me, Doja Cat. I'm expecting some cat that smokes Doja.
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
This is Doja Cat. This lady right here. She will be performing.
I should know her then.
Yeah, you should know her. She's Doja Cat.
No, I don't know her, but I will be looking into it.
Yeah, take it easy.
You want me to know who the singers are? I'm going to do it.
Saweetie will be performing. She's a rapper. Do you guys know
Wheaties box?
Saweetie. Do you know who Saweetie is?
Wheaties.
He's on the Wheaties box?
I think she's dating Quavo. You guys know who Quavo is from Migos?
I know Quaaludes, but I don't know Quavo.
Saweetie.
I heard the name Migos, but it's like those guys
Jeopardy,
with the glasses and...
This is Saweetie.
What is Quavo's?
Well, this is Saweetie, and the guy next to her is Quavo. Maybe they're broken up.
Quavo, but I'll be looking into this Sweeties or Wheaties,
Quavo here.
Quavo, man. Raindrop, drop top, smoke it, I'll cook it, hot box. You know, bad and bougie. You know about that.
Nope.
Who are you talking to me?
Drop top. You know? Come on, man. You guys know about Migos. Diplo. Do you guys know who Diplo is?
Nope.
Diplo is
don't double dip.
Diplo is a DJ.
Diplo if you want, but don't dip.
Diplo.
He's a DJ.
This is the stuff that I need my
very
nephew around
famous
because he knows all this stuff.
That's Diplo. Diplo.
Let me see.
Yeah, he doesn't look like this.
You guys
with his hair, man.
You guys need to watch these boxing pay-per-views so you could learn about popular music, I guess.
The thing is
well, the last time
he's like Dave is a El Duce when it comes to this. He doesn't let me put some sound. So whenever we do these watch-alongs, I'm just watching without the sound. So I'm not even listening. Last time I barely listened to anything, man. We were watching. Watch along.
No, I was listening. I had my earphones in on,
Fred,
on one ear.
You weren't on the watch along for the Mike Tyson fight.
I wasn't there.
Good point.
No.
You're right. Yeah, you weren't there, man. Yeah, you
Bullshit,
weren't there, man.
Fred.
Well, it was my
You weren't even here.
To El Duce.
Yeah, well, I don't even. Yeah, El Duque. Orlando Hernandez, a great pitcher for the Yankees. Is that who you're talking about? Levon's brother, El Duque. El Duque, Orlando Hernandez.
Wasn't Snoop
he was
Dogg?
a great pitcher.
Snoop Dogg?
Snoop is performing.
Hey, Dave.
Snoop is going to perform.
Again?
You know who Snoop Dogg is, right? Snoop Dogg is going to be there. You guys know who Ice Cube is? Ice Cube.
Of course,
right?
man.
There you go. Too Short.
Wow,
you know who
awesome,
Too
man.
Short
Old
is?
School. I know
Too
tall,
Short?
but I'm not too... No.
You don't know who Too Short is? Really? You guys don't know who Too Short is?
Is that him?
He's kind of old school.
Too
Yeah,
Short
my boy just showed up.
There he is. There's Too Short. I just saw him. Does it get this wild on the Rogan show? I don't think so.
It's more wild. E40. You guys know E40 from the West Coast? You guys don't know E40?
WD-40.
I know
UB40. I know it works well.
I'm surprised you guys don't know who Too Short is. You guys know Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, but you don't know Too Short? He's like been around for a... Yeah, Fred knows Too Short. AJ, I'm not surprised.
He's an overrated.
Oh.
Overrated has been.
Oh.
Wow.
Fred's got thoughts on Too Short.
Freddie says that.
What's happening here? This man doesn't want to leave my side. Hold on a second. You guys... You guys talk to each other about what my musical tastes are. I got to deal with this guy.
I think it really sucks, Freddie, to be honest. To be honest, anybody who's named Too Short and WD-40. By the way, I saw UB40 live. I don't know if you know that. I saw them live, man. It was amazing. I was so close to the band, man. I was like slapping their hands. That's how close. UB40 back in the days. Awesome.
telling you, the Black Keys are good, though, man. I hope the Black Keys.
I don't know who they are, man.
With the Black Keys.
I don't know.
All the other jabronis, you know them, man. You've heard them on the radio. Like they sing a bunch of songs, man. I'm not gonna
after
sing
the show, I'm gonna look into it.
It would be awful.
Sing it, man. Well, give me one tune, like something that I might know.
Little Black Submarine or something like that. They're good, man. I love. They're good. The Black Keys. They had
Yellow Submarine from the
on
Beatles,
some of those
that's about it.
countdown shows for the UFC.
I'm telling you, you know their songs. What are their songs?
I'm telling you, man.
Maybe Fred, sing some of their songs.
He just did.
I got the
na 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 na. Ooh, look at them though. Have you seen these guys?
No, let's see them.
Oh, they're old, probably.
They don't look as good as Doja Cat. I'll tell you that much. This is the Black Keys?
Black Keys?
That's what they look like, these guys?
Are you sure? These guys look like they're on Saturday Night Live. Are you serious?
They got good music,
The guy
though,
on
but
the left.
they don't look that cool. They don't look like cool guys.
He looks like Pauly Shore, man. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, it's all right. I guess they don't look as cool
Well, it's
as
like today I
Snoop
found
Dogg.
out Ed Sherman. You know Ed Sherman or
Ed
whatever his name is?
Sheeran.
Sherman? What's his name? Sheeran, that guy. So I was listening to Ed Sheeran, but when Lucy showed me a picture of this guy, I'm like, who is this geek? Like, what is this? Is this like from some sitcom? And she's like, no, you know his music. I'm like, I don't know this guy's music, and I don't want to know it. But then she made me listen to it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that guy sings that. I would never. It just doesn't make sense. It's like Mike Tyson speaking. You would never know that Tyson's voice is that. And that's how I was with this Ed Sheeran guy. I'm like, that guy sings that? Right. It doesn't make sense.
That's what happened with me at the Super Bowl and The Weeknd. I'm like, The Weeknd? Like, I've heard the name, but then I started hearing songs, and I'm like, oh, he sings that? Okay. Oh, he sings that? Okay.
That's it. You've heard these people.
Old,
you've
man.
heard
I don't
their
care
songs.
about all these people.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm getting to that point, too. I'm not quite there. I'm not quite like, I'm still trying to pay attention with what's going on, but I'm almost
there. Get to adulthood, Dave.
No, I don't know. I don't
them
like it.
Behind you, man.
I don't like it.
Teenage years are over, man.
Yeah, I know, but I still like certain kind of music, and I still like to keep up on what's new in hip hop, and I like to, there's a lot of that stuff I don't like, but there's a lot of new stuff that I hear. I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and I forced everybody to listen to like the Dropkick Murphys. Even my little guy of like 14 months, he had to listen to the Dropkick Murphys. Do you know who these guys are? Now that music, man. Now
I mean, I've heard of them.
Was awesome.
I've heard of them, but
the same thing with these people here. Nobody knew them, and I made everybody listen to it. It was like St. Patrick's Day. You're listening to the Dropkick Murphys live. I even sent you a link yesterday so you can listen in on them.
I'm not listening to that. I don't like that stuff.
Man, Freddie, did you listen to them? I sent you guys the link. It was like amazing. That's music.
I don't read a third of your messages, man.
Yeah, you send way too many messages in the group chat, and we ignore most of the stuff you send us.
But it was some good stuff yesterday, man.
Hey, get a great deal on the best in audio entertainment with SiriusXM. Get your first 3 months of streaming for only $1. Go to Sirius.ringsidereport.net. Okay? You want me to repeat myself? Get a great deal on the best in audio entertainment with SiriusXM. Get your first 3 months of streaming for only $1. First 3 months of SiriusXM for only $1 when you go to Sirius.ringsidereport.net. That is a hell of a deal. Sign up today.
Wow.
3 months for $1. I mean, good God almighty. Ringside Report Network now sponsored by SiriusXM.
Wow, that's incredible. Congratulations, Dave. Congratulations. Serious, man.
All right, guys. Kevin Holland, Derek Brunson.
I thought we were going to see Howard Stern or something.
I mean, Howard Stern is on Sirius, so you could listen to him.
Yeah, he was
there.
one of the first big guys going to Sirius, man. I love Howard Stern.
Obvious facts with AJ DeLucio. Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson. Holland minus 175, the favorite. Brunson plus 155, the dog. That seems about right, but I would actually make Holland a bigger favorite. I think Holland is going to be my lock of the night. This guy looks incredible. He's won 5 straight. He is 28 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He trains under the great... What's his face? Who's obviously great. He fought for the UFC middleweight championship at some point. He was really good. Wasn't he the middleweight champion? You guys know who I'm talking about.
Luter.
Good jiu-jitsu. Travis Luter. Thank you, Fred. Holy shit.
Oh, he's under Travis.
How did you get there?
Is with Brunson, man. I know that.
just clicked on Kevin Holland's Wikipedia page, and I saw that he trains at Phalanx MMA Academy. Travis Luter, BJJ.
There you go. Travis Luter, very good UFC fighter, very good jiu-jitsu guy, good wrestler, solid fighter. He's his head coach, raves about him, believes he's going to be a world champion. I think Kevin Holland has all the tools to be a world champion. He's 6'3", 185-pounder. That is big for middleweight. He's got knockout power. He can knock you out, as we saw from any angle. When you could do something like that to Jacare, good God almighty. He has tied the UFC record for most wins in a calendar year with 5. He won 5 fights in 2020. Might have been fighter of the year last year, smashing through the competition. He was pretty damn impressive, and now he looks to start 2021 with a bang, with a big opponent here, Derek Brunson. I think Brunson's going to, try to take him down and do his thing, but Brunson, 37 years old, he's been knocked out before, he's been finished before. I think Kevin Holland's going to finish him. I got Kevin Holland by knockout in this one. Although I could see a submission too, I'm going to go with the knockout. I think Holland wins. He's my lock of the night. I'm super impressed with this guy. It's the Kevin Holland show, and we're just watching it right now. I'm excited to see what's next from Kevin Holland. I think this is going to be a big fight for him on Saturday, and it's just going to be big things going forward for him. Yeah, Fred?
I like how you say it's the Kevin Holland show, because this guy has been so fun. Here's a guy that fights very often and is successful and wins like impressively, has some highlights, everything. This guy's been fun. Now, people have been saying if Brunson wins, it's maybe with his wrestling. And yeah, I could see maybe that happening where Brunson could be a big guy over Holland. But I'm going also with Holland. I'm going to go with Holland by KO, mostly because he's been, like I say, fun, and I want this to continue, man. The UFC needs these types of like stories, characters that are charismatic and bring something. So Kevin Holland, I hope he continues on his success, and I'll pick him to win by KO.
AJ?
And there's another thing with Kevin Holland. I mean, while 2020 was like the worst year for most people and a lot for MMA fighters, including McGregor, Holland, man, came out and he had 5 fights. And like you said, he's 5-0 in 2020. And this guy is the rising star. But the thing is that what you forget is that even though Brunson is a good grappler and a good wrestler, you're looking at Holland that has 6 submission wins in his career. This guy, if he goes down to the ground, man, he's strong enough. He's 28 years old. And let's not forget, Brunson is 37 years old. That's a different game. You know what? Brunson is basically the gatekeeper at this point, and this is what's going to happen. Holland's coming in. He's going to start 2021 big, and he's going to be the big star of 2021. No doubt about it, man. And you're right. I think this is if you're going to look for the sure win, this should be it, man. And going back to Brunson, you're talking about coaches. He's being coached by Henry Huff. So, like, it doesn't, he's strong competition, man. But you're fighting Kevin Holland, man, and it's going to be a different story. And I agree with you, TKO on this one, if it doesn't happen to be a submission. But I think it's going to be a TKO out of it more than anything.
All right, we are unanimous going with Kevin Holland, and the rest of this card is okay.
It's all right. You have Gillespie on the next fight, which isn't so bad. I mean,
Gillespie. When's the last time he fought? Where's he been?
He fought
2019.
Since November 2019. Yeah, it's been a while. Like,
it's a long time
for like 16 months, man.
The co-main event
of
now.
Being an active.
And he's the co-main event against Brad Riddell, whoever that is.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this one right now, and Bet99 has Gillespie minus 263, the favorite, Riddell plus 210, the underdog. I'm going with Riddell. Gillespie hasn't fought in a while. Meh. He lost his last fight by knockout. I don't know. Riddell is he's younger. He's a good striker. He's from New Zealand. He's tough. He hasn't lost in the UFC. He's won 5 in a row. He fought in September. Like, he's more kind of in the mix, he's more active. So, Muay Thai fighter, I'm going to go with him. He's got to avoid the takedown. I mean, Gillespie, obviously, he's a very good wrestler. And he's going to look to take him down. But It's been a while, man. We'll see.
But if you look at Riddell, like I agree with you, like his kickboxing skills and whatnot are top of the line. But when it comes down to the grappling game, Gillespie takes him down. You know, he's gonna have a hard time, Riddell, because statistically it shows that he's got taken down 14 times in only 3 fights. So this guy, man, is easily able to be taken down, and he's fighting Gillespie, who's been a much better wrestler than any of these guys Riddell has fought in the past. So if this stays standing up, this guy has a kickboxing chance. He's a pro kickboxer. He trains out of New Zealand with Adesanya and Dan Hooker. So he's coming out of a good camp. But you know what? The 16 months layoff and all this kind of stuff, man, I don't know, man. 29 years old.
Riddell is the play,
he's
I think.
An underdog. I think this is the one that might pull it off. I mean, Gillespie's, it's like, you know, when they say ring rust, is it true? Yeah, for some people it is true. Guys like George St. Pierre, it doesn't matter. It's not true. But you know what? Coming, 16 months, COVID, training camps have been like.
All right, let's just get through the preview of this goddamn fight now. What else do we have?
Does it go back to it?
What else do we have?
Gillespie, and that's it, man.
Yeah, we got Holland. Nobody's taking Gillespie. We took Riddell. I took Riddell.
I took Gillespie.
Oh, you took Gillespie? AJ, who you taking?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with you on this. I'm going with the underdog, Riddell. I think he's going to pull it off.
What I'm talking about.
I think ring rust. Yeah, man. Are we on live now?
Yeah, we're on right now. What the hell are you talking about? Are we on live? I've been telling you we're on live. Our last show, I don't know what happened. We were on before. We had a technical issue. Everything cut off. Everything froze out. Now we're back. Fred had a power failure. Like, what the hell's happening tonight? It's crazy. All right. Let me give you some picks here for the undercard. Let me give you some underdogs to go with, okay? I'm going to go with 2 underdogs in the women's division. Basically, you need to pick women to upset. Women's fights, the underdog seems to always win. I don't know what's going on here, but lately the underdog is always winning in these women's fights, especially on the prelim cards. So this week I'm going to go with, Marion Renault over Macy Chiasson, whatever her name is. I'm going with
Chasson.
Is it Chiasson? She's American, though.
Me and Freddie safe.
Marion Renault has lost 3 straight to Raquel Pennington, Yana Kunitskaya, and Kat Zingano. But I think she's still a very good fighter. She's just losing to some of the top fighters in the division. She's 43 years of age, and that's why she's the underdog. She's the underdog here, plus 175 over a Bet99. Chiasson, minus 217, the favorite. I like Marion Renault. I think she's a higher level fighter, face tougher competition, and she's going to pull off the upset victory. So I like Marion Renault at plus 175. And I also like the first fight of the night, Julia Stoliarenko over Julia Avila. Julia Avila is a fighter with very good boxing, very solid hands, but pretty much no ground game. Sijara Eubanks took her down at will in the last fight, beat her by decision. Sijara was the underdog in that one. And I think the underdog in this one, Julia Stoliarenko, will come through. She lost her last fight to Yana Kunitskaya, and if you don't know, Yana Kunitskaya is one of the best women's bantamweights in the world. And Julia Stoliarenko lost to her, but I think she's going to put it together with superior grappling and pull off the huge upset in the opening fight. She is a plus 300 underdog. Avila minus 400, the favorite. So this is Dave's parlay for the weekend, guys. This is going to be fun. We'll see what happens. But Dave's parlay.
Been pretty lucky with the women's. You've been pretty lucky, dude. When it comes to like prelim cards and the women's card, you've been like hitting like the nail all the time, man. Like it's ridiculous. I don't even know that fight. I didn't want to go there, but except for last week.
Yeah, but you know what I did last week? I picked the favorite. I shouldn't have done that. Always go with the dog. I picked the favorite woman. I'm going with the underdog woman on the prelims, okay? So this is my parlay. This is Dave's parlay. We've got Kevin Holland minus 179, Brad Riddell plus 210, Marion Renault plus 175, Stoliarenko plus 300. You're putting down $10. You're making $531.96. I mean, that's pretty good. It's pretty good value off $10, I think.
Very good.
I mean, who knows if they will all hit? I'm just saying that's Dave's parlay. That's what I'm going with. That's our parlay for the weekend. I like the women underdogs. I think if you just go with Stoliarenko, I think I'm really going to do a parlay, the Stoliarenko and Kevin Holland. First fight of the night and the last fight of the night. Combine those and come through with a little money. Okay? That's Dave's parlay.
Very fast, or it's going to hit with a bang.
That's it. We'll see.
Good. Yeah, that's maybe I'll go with you on that one, because Freddie last week was on the money. When it comes to like short card parlays, Freddie, man, is king. But you were hitting him pretty good for the last couple of weeks. So 2 out of 3 weeks you've been hitting it. But yeah, I
had perfect parlays the past 3 weeks. 2 out of the 3 weeks I was perfect. Last week I was 2 for 3, and Fred was 2-0. So yeah. I've been doing pretty well on the picks. Fred's been doing well. AJ, you've been doing well. That's why we give you the picks. That's why we are your number one MMA source in the world. That's why we say we are your MMA authorities. When we say this, I know we joke around and we talk a lot of shit and we're kind of goofy and we say ridiculous things all the time. But when it comes down to it, we know MMA pretty well. We're watching all of the fights. We're paying close attention. I'm watching fights this week. I watched the Julia Stoliarenko versus Yana Kunitskaya fight just this afternoon in preparation for tonight. So, we're doing a lot of research. We're doing jiu-jitsu. We're doing the whole thing. So, we know what we're talking about. We are the number one MMA show in the world. That's why we give you winners, and that's why we tell you what's up. All right? And AJ, you can tell everybody about how good my jiu-jitsu is. I sent you a video today. You were very complimentary.
Yeah, man.
Let's just heap praise upon me, AJ, and tell me how great I am at grappling.
Actually, I was very impressed with your skills, man, with your ankle lock at the end and whatnot. And through the whole fight,
straight Achilles,
brother, which was cool. Yeah, straight. It was nice, old school. But I liked your setup. But what I was really impressed was with your wrestling, man. The way you were able to tuck under and take your brother's back. It was nice, man. And what I liked a lot too was that you really kept a lot of like pressure on your brother. There was no space anytime you were going into transitions. So I got to give you that, like, as a no-gi fighter, man. Yeah, you're one of those guys that will be a very frustrating fight, because you know what? You were not letting any space, man. And eventually you got your submissions. And I think your brother, at one point there, I thought you were going to kill him because he was gaggling at one point, man. Like, when the air is getting like rushed out of the body, I'm like, poor Ben, man.
Hey, he doesn't quit. He's hard to choke.
Ben is coming to an end.
Thank you for that, AJ.
Very
thank you for that.
Too.
I appreciate
that.
Yeah,
it was.
AJ.
I love watching that stuff, and it's great that you have the space, But hey, listen, we're getting back. And Freddie, eventually, once his knee is good, he'll be back. And I think the summer should be a good time for you to do a lot more of stretching and maybe doing some Zumba once the operation's over. But jiu-jitsu, man, is a tough sport, man. But you go through your problems and then you'll be back in jiu-jitsu. I think you'll be back by August, the latest.
Yeah, Fred's getting knee surgery.
Yeah, I think Fred will be by August.
Well, it depends when he gets the surgery.
Can't wait. Yeah, depends when our system calls me, man. That's the long part.
I thought you were doing it soon, bud. I thought for some reason you were doing it.
No, I gotta wait
soon.
I gotta wait for the call. It could take a little while.
Oh, in that case, forget it.
I don't want to get into that. Yeah. Yeah. As of yet, I've been lucky. This is one. Okay, my health is one of the things that I've been like, oh yeah, I like COVID, because like when I had to do my MRI, they told me it was like 6 months wait, and then less than a month in, they call me and they go, oh, we had a cancellation. Can you come in next Monday? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And it happened also for something else where they called me because they had a cancellation. So if anything, hopefully somebody gets a non-serious COVID positive test and I could take his place and have my knee surgery within like a month. Come on, COVID.
Which could be a possibility, man.
Guys, we're going to wrap up the show, but before we do, I have a question for you. Okay, I have a question. What does this mean?
What the hell?
This is Khabib Nurmagomedov. This is Khabib yesterday.
What?
Yesterday with Lorenzo Fertitta, former owner of the UFC. It was good to see you, Lorenzo. At Dana White, send me location. What does this mean?
Man, I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. I saw an interview with George and Ariel Helwani just the other day, and I'll tell you one thing. Now I'm really convinced that George will not be coming back. So if that was the case, I'd be like, oh, George is coming back and he's gonna fight Khabib. But from the interview, man, it really looked like George is really done. And I hate to say that.
George is retired.
But if Khabib comes back and says, send me location and he'll fight George, I'm telling you, that's going to be the only thing that'll get George back into the UFC. Other than that, who's he going to fight? Who's good enough for Khabib at this point to be able to say, you know what, Khabib will be back to fight who? Who?
Well, I think Khabib
Chandler?
could come back to fight any of these guys. Charles Oliveira, whoever becomes, the number one
Why
contender.
would he come back for Oliveira?
I don't know.
Honestly, the only two fights that would make sense for Khabib are George, but I agree with AJ that George is retired. Yep. I've been on that vibe for a while now. I think George is really retired. And the other fight that would make sense is Conor, but Khabib doesn't want that because Conor would be a lot of money for Khabib. But why go fight Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier again or what? Who is he going to fight? Like Michael Chandler? Those are not interesting fights. If I'm Khabib, stay retired, man. Enjoy life.
I think it's just for the 30-0, really. It's just to get one more fight in there.
So maybe it is Conor. Maybe it is the Conor fight. Conor has nothing to lose, man. Like at this point here, he has so much money. They
both make a lot of money.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Money. I don't know. Freddie? Khabib has proven everything. Khabib has proven that he's the man. He's got nothing left. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on, but when he is posing with Lorenzo Fertitta and tells Dana White to send location, people start to wonder, what does that mean? Does that mean he's trying to fight again? I don't know.
Nah.
I think Fred's right. I think it means nothing. There's no real reason to come back and fight at this point because George doesn't want it. It seems clear to me that George is really done. He's not playing this Khabib game anymore. And other than that, I don't really know what else Khabib could do. I don't see any other fights for him right now at 155 pounds. I think he could wait another couple of years and a new contender could emerge. And yeah, maybe it would be fun to see Khabib back in a couple of years. But right now, he just beats everybody so easily. He's already beat everybody. I don't know what else there is to prove. I don't think beating Charles Oliveira or Michael Chandler really proves anything.
No, nothing at all. Not for Khabib. I mean, he's going to beat them. There's nothing challenging in that. And even to see him fight Conor, it would be more of that excitement fight to see what happens next, that kind of stuff. And money will be made. There's no doubt about it. And he'll get that 30 win, unless Conor pulls off a miracle and whatnot, which is still a possibility, with a good training camp. But really, man, after that interview, if I didn't see that interview with Ariel, I'd be like, oh, it's got to be George. It's got to be George. George is coming back. But I'm like, George looks like he's more worried about Hollywood than anything else. I mean, he's got the hair going. He's got the tan. Everything is going towards his Hollywood way.
He's done.
He's done. But if it's for maybe a non-title fight and just a fight to see who's the greatest where it doesn't matter who wins or loses, that could be interesting. If Khabib fights George as more of a show than anything else, that could be interesting. No pressures about the title. Win or lose, you shake hands. It doesn't affect anything really. You never know, man. That might entice George. But
not
that
has
to be done now because
not going to happen.
40,
AJ,
man.
We've been getting a lot of questions about your attire tonight. A lot of questions about what you're wearing. Glenn likes your hat, and Angelo wants to know what's on your shirt. So let's address Angelo first, and then we'll talk to Glenn and the hat. Yes.
So I told Angelo last week, I said I was going to have a surprise for him. I said I'm going to wear this shirt. This shirt came straight from Greece. It came from the Koyu Shikanai Karate Athens team. And I got this from my buddy Konstantinos, who brought it straight from Greece. It's like the only Greek karate shirt probably in Montreal right now. And if Glenn likes it, Angelo likes it, that's all that counts.
No, Glenn likes your hat.
Like there's all Glenn, like, yeah, sure. Glenn loves my hat, man.
What's the hat?
But I don't have Glenn's hair. I wish I had Glenn's hair, man.
What is the hat?
The hat is nothing, man. It's just a hat.
Well, like, isn't there a logo on it, or like, what's the logo?
Some logo on it.
You don't know what it is? You're wearing a hat. You don't know what it is? You could be representing for who knows what on the show.
What? The Biden team? No. Listen, you know what? Actually, talk about hats. I need a hat. Maybe Glenn can send me one of his Gracie Baja hats. Something cool. You know,
well, Glenn is promising all sorts of Glenn WO merchandise to everybody.
Yeah.
He's been promoting it on the Wednesday night AEW Dynamite recap shows that we've been having. Myself, Johnny North, and Glenn McKenzie have been recapping AEW Dynamite, and he's promised all sorts of Glenn WO merch, so maybe he can get you a Glenn WO hat to wear. I'm sure he'd be happy seeing you wear his gear.
I got the T-shirt. I love this stuff. It's good quality, man.
All right. Glenn will hook you up. Glenn's a good guy. He comes on every Wednesday night to talk about AEW Dynamite. We come on here every Thursday night at 8 p.m., and I promise there aren't this many technical difficulties usually. And when there are, they're usually comedic, and they're AJ's fault. But tonight it was just like weird, you know?
What?
I don't know what happened tonight.
Maybe it's our competition, man. Rogan. Maybe.
Right. So every Thursday night, 8 p.m., we are here breaking things down. I'll be back here tomorrow night for some pro wrestling chat with my main man, Johnny North. We'll be previewing WWE Fastlane right after SmackDown. We'll recap SmackDown tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Wrestling Uncensored every Friday night, 10 p.m. right after SmackDown. Tomorrow is the Fastlane preview show. And then, of course, we'll come on after Fastlane to do the WWE Fastlane post show on the final stop before WrestleMania, where we'll have plenty of coverage for you leading up to the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, coming up April 10th and 11th. April's going to be a massive month for us. Massive month. But don't forget, our next UFC watch-along will be next Saturday, the 27th of March. It'll be Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight championship of the world, live from Las Vegas, UFC 260. We'll be doing the watch-along for that coming up Saturday, March 27th. Next Saturday, boys, another watch-along. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then April, we're going to be doing a whole lot of watch-alongs because not only will we be doing UFC 261 pay-per-view, but the week before that, we'll be doing the Ben Askren, Jake Paul fight, and Fred will possibly be on, and he'll be mad that I won't let him listen to the excellent Doja Cat music that he wants to hear. Right? Or the Black Keys, I guess. Yeah, he's there for the Black Keys. You know, that's why Freddie's there. He loves the Black Keys, and they'll be performing April 17th. So I'll be back here tomorrow night with Johnny North, 10 p.m. for Wrestling Uncensored. We're here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Thank you to everybody for joining us. A big shout out to our members, Angelo, Patrick, Craig, all the members, Douglas, all the members. Don't forget to sign up on the YouTube channel. Become a member. Go to donate.ringsidereport.net. Become a member over there. Shout out to my main man, Wally Byrne. He's a member over at donate.ringsidereport.net. And go get some merch. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Look at that. You can get a cup with Fred's face on it. Fred and AJ. Look at those guys. And me too. I'm there too.
Or is that Paul? Or is that
Or is it Paul? Or is it Paul? Thanks to Paul for joining us tonight and stepping in for Fred for a little bit. Thank you to AJ and AJ's body double, Joe Pesci. We appreciate you. What?
I love Joe Pesci. Listen, I was going to say, why don't you get like Johnny and Glenn's face on a mug? Didn't I say that last week again?
Yeah, you're just repeating yourself once again. That's what happens when you get old. You kind of repeat yourself over and over again.
Groundhog Day.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Glenn, we love you. We love all the members. Brooklyn Lizard, thank you for watching.
Peace.
Thank you for enjoying the show. We are happy that we are bringing it for you. We'll be back tomorrow night for more wrestling talk. That's it. See ya.